and breathe. January 2020, what a month. I did a post on my Instagram the other day, guys, saying January goodbye, you won't be missed, because it was just one of those months. You couldn't even write it or make it up how crazy January ended up being. So I made a video at the start of the year, basically talking about the things that I wanted to achieve in the month of January. I did a whole video on it, which I'll link in the description bar below in case you haven't seen it. But it was basically me talking about my goals for January. Oh gosh, I'm stuttering. It was basically in that video, talking about my goals for January 2020, all the things that I wanted to achieve and all the things that I wanted to accomplish within that month. So the first of those goals that I had set out to achieve was make January a no spend month. So my goal was to not spend any money in January outside of obviously utility bills, food, etc. So that was my goal, and it was going really well for the first couple of weeks, guys. Like literally the first 2 weeks of January, I didn't actually really spend any money. The only thing that I did buy actually outside of bills and outside of things that I was supposed to buy or I was allowed to buy, the only thing I did buy was my friend's ebook. So literally she sent a link to her new ebook and I just clicked buy straight away without actually thinking about the fact that I'm not supposed to be spending money in January, but I bought it to support her, so it's fine. I think I should get a bit of a BLIKE for that, I think. But yeah, so that was one thing that I purchased in January that I shouldn't have bought. And then another thing that I purchased in January, which I did a post on my Instagram actually saying, is that allowed? And people said, yeah, it's fine. It was basically tickets to an event, which I'm going to on Friday, and I'm going to do a vlog on it actually. It's by a company called Black Girl Finance, and it's all about money management for black women in the UK. So it's perfect for me. I really wanted this year, obviously, network with like-minded people, expand my network in terms of people interested in personal finance, also expand my knowledge and my understanding in the area of personal finance. So it's going to be a fantastic event, I think, anyway. So I don't feel bad for spending that money on my ticket for that event. So that was something else that I spent money on this month, which I wasn't supposed to, and that was within the first couple of weeks of the month. So those were the only two purchases that I made that were non-critical and non-essential purchases for January. That was week 1 and 2. By week 3, January just went downhill, like literally just so much stuff was happening personally to my friends, family members, etc., that my focus just went completely off track, and I wasn't really that focused on actually living frugally or not spending money. I did actually have a few takeaways, forgive me guys, but yeah, I did. I bought food that was not allocated to my budget. And yeah, I stopped tracking my expenses halfway through the month as well. So the first couple of weeks I was doing really well, logging all my expenses in terms of food shopping, car parking, etc. But as the month went on, I just stopped tracking my expenses, and yeah, we had a meeting. Me and my husband had to sit down the other day just going through January's expenses and the budget for February, and we realised we did overspend quite a bit in January, which was unfortunate, but that's the beauty of budgeting, and that's the beauty of actually having these sit down sessions and actually being intentional with your money, because you're able to see where you've gone wrong and literally rein yourself back in. So we realised how much we overspent in January, which meant that our sinking funds were a lot lower than we wanted them to be. So our sinking funds for Christmas, for our new car, etc., all the things that we're saving towards, that had to take a hit in February because we had overspent in January. But yeah, like I was trying to explain, basically that's the beauty of budgeting. You can see straight away where you've gone wrong, where you've overspent, and you can rein yourself back in and get back on track. So we're back on track now for February. It's a new month, a new beginning, a fresh start, and I don't think I'm going to be doing a no spend February. In fact, I'm not doing a no spend February, but no spend January, I can say it was a fail. £500, that was my side hustle goal for the month of January. Can you guess how much I actually made? Pause the video and leave a comment below and tell me how much you think I actually made via my side hustles during January. I made a grand total of, drum roll please, I made a total of £303 during the month of January. Yay! Result. I know, it's not the £500 that I'd anticipated making and I'd set out to make, but I mean, you could look at it as a fail because I didn't make the £500, but I like to look at it as a positive because I ended the month with £300 more than I started the month, and that was very helpful in terms of putting money towards our mortgage overpayment and also adding to the sinking funds that we ended up overspending in. So I think it was a win. I think it was I think it was a win, and I think it was a success because I achieved over half of my goal. So, you know, it's better to have achieved something than not achieved anything. So I'm pleased with my results. I'm pleased with how well I did. Not quite the £500 that I wanted to make, and it's actually the lowest I've made so far since I started side hustling. But you know what? It's January. I'm going to put it down to the fact that it's a new year. Everyone spent all their money over the Christmas period, so people didn't have as much money to spend in January. That's my excuse anyway. I'm sticking to it. So hopefully February will be a lot better, and I'll be able to make a lot more money via my side hustle. So yeah, that was goal number 2. I guess I'll give myself another cross because I didn't hit the goal, or maybe a half tick, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't achieve my £500 goal, but I did make £303. So that was goal number 2. Goal number 3 was to refresh my blog, tollyfrimpong.com, which again I started working on actually. I did quite a lot of work on it this month, but I haven't finished all the refresh that I wanted to do because I did a lot of work on it in the first couple of weeks of January, and like I mentioned before, in terms of my no spend January kind of falling off in the last 2 weeks, the same can be said for my blog and all the other stuff that I wanted to get done in January. The last couple of weeks I just found that once I let myself go in one area, it kind of had a ripple effect on all areas. So like, the last couple of weeks of January, I just didn't get to do all the things that I wanted to do. So my blog is still being updated. I've done quite a lot of work on it. It looks a lot better than it did at the start of the year, but it's still not where I want it to be. So in February, I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more work on it to get it to where I want it to be, and then work on the other stuff off the back of it. So that leads on to my 4th goal that I had set myself, which was to do a Pinterest course. That had to take a back seat this month. I wasn't able to do the Pinterest course. It didn't actually make sense to me doing the course until the blog has been refreshed and updated, because there's no point working on getting all this traffic to the blog when the blog isn't ready for people to actually use it properly. So I just decided not to do the Pinterest course. I put that on hold, and hopefully I can revisit it later on this year. I'm not going to say February because that's not being realistic. I need to actually make sure the blog is refreshed and ready to go and does all the things that I want it to do, because it has so much potential. It looks good already, and I'm sure if you go and click on the link right now actually and go to my blog, you're going to be like, Tolly, it's fine, but I know where I want it to be, and I know what I want to do with it, and I know how much more potential it has. So I just want to really work on getting it to where I want it to be, and then I'll move on to the stage of actually driving a lot more traffic to it via Pinterest. So yeah, Pinterest, that was again a fail in January. Oh gosh, not looking good, is it, guys? So those are the only 4 goals actually that I talked about in my video, but on my Instagram there was 2 additional goals that I actually mentioned for January, which I'm just going to talk about in this video anyway. My 5th goal that I set myself was to read and review the Meaningful Money Handbook by Pete Matthews. So I talked about it in my last video, which I'll link below, about my online book club which I started, and the first book for January that we were going to be reading and reviewing in that book club was going to be the Meaningful Money Handbook by Pete Matthews, and I'm pleased to report that I finished reading the book. Yay! So yeah, it's an amazing book, fantastic book, and I'm actually going to do a review on it very soon. But yeah, it was a really good book, but I haven't actually done the book review. So I've done half of the goal, because the first half of the goal was to read the book and the second half of the goal was to review it. So I've read it, but I haven't reviewed it yet, but the review is definitely going to be coming in February. So watch this space and I'll let you know when it's ready. Okay, sorry guys, I had to pause for a second because my son just woke up, so if you hear any noise in the background, that's just him. He's in a walker behind me, so yeah, hopefully he doesn't make too much noise. So my 6th goal was to add items to my Etsy store. Guess how many items I added to my store in January? 1. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? But literally, my goal was to add 10 items, and I only managed to add 1 to my store in January, which is not fantastic. It's still progress. Slow progress is better than no progress. So yeah, it's better than nothing. And hopefully in February, I plan to add a lot more items. So those 9 items that I was unable to add in January, I'm hoping to be able to add them to the store in February. So I've got so many different ideas of printables that I actually want to add to the Etsy store. It's just actually finding the time to do it and then upload them. So hopefully I'll be able to find time next month to add these items to my Etsy store. But that's it, basically. Those were my 6 goals that I set myself for January, and it's actually quite sad when you actually go back and reflect over them. So I didn't actually accomplish fully any of them. So all of them were all started and I made steps towards towards them, but none of them were completely completed, which is a bit frustrating really, to be honest. But at the same time, I can't be too hard on myself, and I can't beat myself up over what I was unable to achieve. I have to just focus on the good things and focus on the fact that I was able to at least take steps towards getting them done. So I'm definitely a lot further ahead than I was a month ago. So I have progressed, I have grown, I have got things done. I may not have done everything I wanted to do, but I've done things and I've been moving forward. I know the last couple of weeks have just been very bad in terms of achieving stuff, but I mean, I was able to achieve quite a lot in the first couple of weeks of January, and I know that now that I've recognised where I've gone wrong, I know moving forward in the new month, I'm going to be able to, oh my gosh, there is in the background, but yeah, I know I'm going to be able to achieve a lot more in the new month. Sorry, I'm just so distracted by myself. I know that in the new month I'm going to be able to achieve a lot more because I'm going to be intentional, because I'm going to set myself goals, and because I'm going to work towards achieving those goals. Because goals without a plan are just mere wishes, and I don't want to just be wishing my way through 2020. I really want to be intentional. I really want to set myself goals, and I really want to work towards achieving them and accomplishing them. So yeah, while I may not have done everything I wanted to do in January, overall, do you know what I mean? I'm still alive, I'm still breathing, there's still hope for tomorrow in it, so I can do a lot better in February. And I'm just, excited to still be on this journey, excited that you guys are actually following me on my journey, and I'm excited to see what's to come with this channel, with 2020. I know it's been a crazy January, but I'm hopeful and I'm excited about February. I'm excited about all that's to come. In my next video, I'm going to talk you guys all through my goals for February 2020, because I don't want this video to be too long. So if you're not following me yet on my social media platforms, please do. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest and Facebook, all as Tolu Frimpong. So just search for my name, I'll come up and you'll find me on there. So yeah, that's it for this, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please do give me a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you know every single time I post a new video. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.